the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we love movies. Jamie, welcome back. I know.
Thank you. I was a little sicky poo.
A little sick, a little under the weather. But we're feeling good, feeling great.
Feeling good. I had a lot of quality time with my Disney Plus at home.
Yeah.
And my couch and my Crunch Bars. So I'm good. We've got a lot to talk about.
I feel like now, because you know how hard it is for people to call in sick. They come to work sick. Mm-hmm. I think now with Disney Plus, it just gives another excuse for like, okay, you know what? I should stay at home and binge 20 hours worth of Disney content.
And the feeling of guilt, it just is not there.
No.
It's just not there at all. But first of all, we've got a couple of nice local things going on that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Disney Plus. We've got a non-spoiler review of The Mandalorian.
Yes, much hyped.
And then you've got a review
of Motherless Brooklyn starring Edward Norton. Really big, really cool film. I really enjoyed it, but we'll get into the meat of that in just a bit.
In just a second.
But
first.
This
on the Hub on Hollywood. So we've got a few casting calls that are happening in and about the New England area. Mm-hmm. There's a low-budget production called Emma that's looking for various positions, people for filming in the next week or so. This is through Boston Casting also. If you want to go ahead and sign up for that and get notifications on that, you can be in the background, on a bus, on a street corner, etc., etc. There was also an interesting casting call for a series, a non-specified series, in need of a nude body double.
A nude body double. Now, I know you've lent your hands and your feet to the world of film, but...
That's all.
But that's all. That
is
that's
all
your limit.
I have lent.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you need a pregnant lady, I can, I don't mind that. But they're looking for someone 5 foot to 5'2", about 110 pounds, which is what I was before I got knocked up.
Yeah.
Dirty blonde for a non-specified series, and that's also through Boston Casting. But you've known some body doubles who's shown a little bit more than hands and feet.
Yeah. Do you remember that old film, Jack Black? It was, what was it? Gulliver's
Travels.
So
right.
Gulliver's Travel came out several years ago. But I know a guy, the same church where I know a guy. I went to a church, and the pastor, or the cool hip hop pastor of today.
He was nude?
No, but so Jack Black, he needed a body double for like a shirtless scene, and in that film he acted as a body double. So he's a little heavier guy, but perfect match for Jack Black, I guess.
That's sweet.
So your body. It could be on film.
That's wonderful how in LA everybody is famous. Everybody's a little bit famous. And that's what's happening here too, because so many films and so many projects are coming to Boston that it's like, it's like me. Look, I got, my hands and feet are coming out in a couple of weeks, Knives Out, and theaters on Thanksgiving. And stuff like this. So there's a lot of great opportunities if you just want to, dip your toe in the water, take a day, do something really cool and interesting. And, you could be like your pastor.
And it's funny because...
or that pastor you knew.
Angela Perry from Boston Casting, she mentioned how they're always looking for, people to be and to fill up the background scenes of films. And a lot of the people that they look for are older people. And so, your own mom or dad could be one of those background actors.
Yeah, they're not looking for movie star looking people. They're looking for everyday average Joes.
So I got a shot? Is that what
I said, James? That's not what I said. But speaking of things that we would love to come to Boston.
Makes sense, yeah.
Adam Driver. Yes, but so a film that is being written and produced by Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. It's the first project that they're working on together in almost a decade. Yeah. Our Boston boys.
And being directed by Scott Ridley.
Yes.
Yeah, of Alien fame, of course. So that's not a bad director to nab for your film.
No, a lot of big names being attached to this. So besides Ridley Scott, you've got...
Ridley Scott, yeah, sorry.
Ridley Scott, you've got... oh, God, I left him in the car again.
No!
But you've got my personal favorite, my baby, Adam Driver, signed on to this film as well. So just as a reminder, it's set in 14th century France. And it's a tale of betrayal and justice between these two knights and they have a love triangle with this young woman. So here's hoping that Ben and Matt bring all of their money and celebrities and Adam Driver to the New England area and turn it into 14th century France.
Is there anywhere in Boston or New England that kind of sticks out to you that kind of resembles France?
Well, we have so many. Yes.
Yeah.
As Mark Fitzgerald, the location scout we spoke to, said, we have so many different dynamic kinds of locations here in New England. We have tons of battlefields. You want battlefields? You want rolling fields of flowers and shit? We've got it. Sorry, apologize. But so we've got it. We've got Little Women shot here not too long ago, and they were along the beaches and in various locations where everything looks older, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of history here. So, I mean, take your pick. Take your pick.
There's definitely, we have spots here.
Yeah, we've got spots here that I think we can turn into 14th century France. No problem.
No big deal.
No problem, Matt and Ben. Come on. Look at us. We look like 14th century Frenchmen, right?
Yeah, we'll talk the heck out of your film. So come on down. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but so this film officially has been picked up by Disney. Has been given the green light by Disney. Has been slated for release in late 2020. So that'll be really exciting to see. Oh, Disney.
Speaking of Disney.
Disney Plus!
So I feel like this is like not an exclusive club because so many have already joined into Disney Plus and subscribed.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that yet. I haven't jumped the Netflix ship. I haven't committed to another streaming service, so I feel like I'm missing out on the party. Is it all the hype? Is it worth?
It's everything you could have ever dreamed of. When you wish upon a star, you get Disney Plus and the Mandalorian. You like that?
I like that one.
Okay, we'll keep that.
We're gonna get sued now. We're gonna get Disney's lawyers are gonna come down knocking on our studio door now.
Or maybe they'll pay us something.
Yeah, but Disney Plus. So
wonderful.
Far so good. How many days in are we?
So I am 2 days in.
2 days in.
I think in total we're about 3 days in since it launched. It had a couple of little glitches on the first day. Some people had trouble logging in.
Some people. I think a lot of people
had trouble logging in. I waited until day 2 when it was all fixed, and then I got in. But just opening up that screen and scrolling down and seeing every film you ever loved growing up. I mean, it's not just Disney movies and every Disney movie you ever loved, but it's Pixar. It's
DreamWorks, right?
DreamWorks. They've got The Simpsons on there. They've got... I mean,
now that Disney
things.
has acquired Fox, so any Fox studio property, 20th Century Fox,
they got all the Marvel movies. So it was very, very impressive, and you see all of these things that in the past was like, I couldn't afford this. Like, I'm not going to pay $15, $16, $17 to buy The Lion King or rent The Lion King so that my son could watch it. Like, it's hard out there in the world, in the real world, James, our wallets are tight and things like that. And we got a lot to pay for. We don't have time to, hodgepodge, pay for various things. And now it's all in one place. It's all in this one streaming service. And we've been talking about streaming wars.
Yeah. We've been talking about Disney and accumulating a lot of content.
And they may be, acquiring Hulu at some point also, which I've been completely addicted to Hulu. I read somewhere, this is Netflix's game to lose. They started everything out. They had the best content, but it just seems to me like all of that content is fleeing elsewhere. They're also the most expensive. So I kind of want to ditch my Netflix because I got everything I want with Disney Plus and Hulu. My husband's still kind of holding on to Netflix for some of the great shows that they have and original content.
They still are producing a lot of great stuff also, but not at the pace volume-wise, not at the pace that Disney already has. I mean, they already have years, decades of content.
They've got your whole childhood. They've got every nostalgic thing. They've already got your heart, okay? They've got your dreams.
You got your heart, your dreams, and your wallet.
Oh, yeah, your wallet and the future, too. But what do you think? What do you think
well,
as far as
I mentioned before,
streaming?
I am so open to getting Disney Plus just because, as we just mentioned, all the content and Star Wars alone. I'm sold on Star Wars alone. But I don't want another streaming service, and so I don't want, because now this is basically getting into the world of cable now. Somebody's going to invent cable, and by combining all these streaming services once again. But this is pretty much it, where you're buying, you're dipping into Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and so I'm at that point where I don't want to go beyond 2 streaming services, which I have, again, Netflix and Prime. I don't want a third. And if I do get Disney Plus, I'm going to have to really make that hard decision to get rid of Netflix, because it is Netflix on the chopping block. Amazon Prime, it's there with my, with purchases and everything. So that's pretty safe. Netflix, as you mentioned, it's theirs to lose.
And the other streaming services are teaming up against Netflix, okay? Because they're offering a bundle, a Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN bundle, that if you already pay for like Hulu without the ads, you can get Disney Plus and ESPN for an extra $6. And then you have that all in one big bundle. So it just seems like they're kind of like teaming up with each other, like against Netflix. And it's just, we'll either see who survives, or the whole point of this was to get away from cable, right?
Yeah.
And now we're paying so much for each individual thing. It's like, it's the same cost as cable, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, we have to see where it goes from there. But, yeah, it's hard decisions.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest factors that when it comes to Disney Plus in deciding whether to get it or not is my love for Star Wars, and one of the newest shows, one of the newest additions to the Star Wars universe is The Mandalorian. And so without giving away spoilers, because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to get Disney Plus, but if I do, I'm going to watch that. I think there are 2 episodes released, right?
Yeah, 2 episodes at this point that have been released.
What are your thoughts so far?
Oh my gosh, James. It was it's like watching Star Wars for the first time again, okay? Because they've got the feeling down pat. And like any great Star Wars movie, it starts off on a sandy planet with a bunch of roughnecks, scoundrels,
scum and villainy of the universe.
Yes. A wretched hive of scum and villainy.
It's starring Pedro Pascal, and I've been a fan of other movies and films that he's been in. I think he's a strong actor.
Absolutely, good representation.
Yeah, good representation. Yeah,
not that you ever see his,
but he doesn't take off his helmet, right?
Exactly, not that you ever see his face, and that's I think part of what makes The Mandalorian so great, and that really builds into that Star Wars feel of. It's the mystery of it. It's got like this space cowboy, space Western kind of feel. Opening up on that dusty planet with all of these roughnecks and the scum and villainy, like you were mentioning. And so it opens up in kind of a cantina bar type of location, and you get to see some good action. To start, I won't give away too much here, but so the Mandalorian, ancient people, warrior race, guns are their religion, and they did not fare very well during the Battle of the Empire. So we're opening up with a Mandalorian who. Picks up a job.
When does this take place?
This takes place about 5 years after the fall of the Empire.
Okay, so after the Return of the Jedi.
After Return of the Jedi, so about 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and somewhere off in the universe, there's a teeny tiny little 4-year-old Ben Solo running around.
Is it really?
Getting in trouble. Yeah.
They show Ben Solo?
They don't show Ben Solo, but it's the same timeline.
Okay.
So, and because I'm a huge nerd, yes, he's off in the universe somewhere.
Oh, so you're just imagining this.
I'm just imagining this while I'm watching The Mandalorian, that he's off getting in trouble and waiting for his daddy to come home and all of the things that we've realized in some of the subsequent Star Wars books and stuff. I'm sorry. Okay, back to The Mandalorian. So 5 years after the fall of the Empire, and you get to see kind of how that is affecting the universe, like economically,
there's
politically,
no government,
and all of that stuff, which I think is really, really cool because I'm a nerd and I love all of that stuff, and I like being given context for the universe. So you get that. You get a lot of what I would call like comfortable silence. Like you're just seeing these beautiful landscapes. We're seeing characters that we've seen before. So the nostalgia factor is definitely there. We've got Jawas, we've got monsters, we've got, all of this great stuff to look forward to.
So how's the production? Because excuse me, from what I understand, it's not a rushed process of making this, but they are pumping out new episodes. They're still making new episodes. How's the CGI? How's the production looking? Is it believable, viable?
Oh, it's believable, viable, subtle, not overdone in the least. Every one of these episodes is incredibly expensive. They
spared no expense,
James. They throw all of their money at this, and I think it's going to pay off tremendously because it looks so beautiful.
Oh man, I'm excited.
It looks really good, and it's a slow progression of this character, and it's a slow progression of this timeline that you can tell they're definitely taking their time with it, and everything that you could ever want as a Star Wars fan is in this show.
Have we seen? I'm a big comedy fan. I'm a big fan of Bill Burr, and I understand Bill Burr's in the series. Has he made an appearance yet? Do you know who he is?
Which one is he playing?
Oh, I don't know. He plays a bounty hunter, or some guy with from the stills I've seen. Bill Burr, a comedian, white guy, bald guy. He has like a gun on his shoulder also. So he's like dual wielding 2 pistols, and he also has like another contraption. So maybe he hasn't popped up yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's popped up yet. But you know who has? Is Taika Waititi.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Playing an obnoxious droid, because it wouldn't be a Star Wars show without an obnoxious droid.
Of course, and it wouldn't be Taika Waititi if he wasn't playing a different character,
something
like
weird.
something weird, because he played Korg in the Avengers and in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes,
but I think you're really selling it.
You're a mate of rocks.
You're really selling Disney Plus. Not only The Mandalorian, you're really selling Disney Plus. And so you're making it tougher for me.
I'm sorry, James. It's just, you're scrolling down and you see like The Lion King and Aladdin and The Little Mermaid and everything you wanted to own, but you couldn't own up until now.
Yeah.
And you've got, like I said, Marvel, you've got Pixar, you got...
So far, so good. You are a fan, you recommend it.
I am a fan, and I know that Disney can be an evil conglomerate sometimes. Allegedly. But I'm loving my Disney Plus. And I can see myself on the couch during my maternity leave, like, in a stupor, but just with, like, a glazed, happy smile on my face as I watch, like... as I watch all of these shows and movies, and I haven't slept in like weeks and months. So looking forward to that.
You recommend Disney Plus. You recommend The Mandalorian.
I do. I do.
This just puts more pressure on my own decision-making skills. Like, what do I value?
But it's a decision that a lot of people are having to make right now. So
dang it, Disney! Stop giving and taking at the same time.
But so it's $6.99 like now.
Yeah.
That's going to go up.
Yeah, because once Netflix gets punched and gets pummeled and knocked down further, more people get into Disney Plus, like Netflix did over the years.
Yeah.
They gradually increased.
Because they need to.
And in the future, in 5 years, if Disney owns everything and there's only one streaming service, then they could charge whatever they want. So this is why it's important to keep it competitive. We need multiple... Believe it or not, we need multiple streaming services.
Yes, so that they don't have a monopoly over everything.
What a world. What a world. Well,
if only the content wasn't so damn good.
I know, right?
Well, but we'll leave it at that for Disney.
We'll dive in. If you watch more stuff, more original content on Disney Plus, we'll be sure to bring it up and review it.
But I want to hear about Edward Norton.
This is where you can get all our Edward Norton movie reviews, news here on the Hub on Hollywood.
Specifically.
Really, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, subscribe to the Hub on Hollywood. We have all these posted. We have all these great interviews, including with Angela Perry of Boston Casting.
Mark Fitzgerald, a location scout who's worked on some of the biggest movies.
And we've been talking about some other people we know who've been developing some films or documentaries.
Very exciting stuff.
So that's in the future. So please, if you haven't, subscribe. We're on every streaming service, so you can follow us on
where podcasts are heard.
Yeah,
Spotify, iHeartRadio. Stitcher? I haven't been on Stitcher.
I haven't been on Stitcher,
but apparently we're on Stitcher too.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but if you're that one person on Stitcher, go ahead and listen to us on there.
And on Twitter, if you can retweet us, everything really helps. Every like, every retweet.
Yeah, and vice versa. If you're listening to us, go ahead and watch us on YouTube. We have cool new posters in the back.
Oh my gosh, our costumes are they're so awesome.
We added new posters including Hogwarts. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which they just, I guess, released a little teaser trailer for part 2, which I'm really jazzed and really excited about. So, you can catch us.
Check that out,
You can catch us on all the platforms, but also on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And maybe on Facebook soon.
Maybe on Facebook soon.
If we have time.
Yeah. Motherless Brooklyn. I just saw this yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. So Motherless Brooklyn is rated R, 2 hours, 25 minutes, directed and written by Edward Norton. It's based on a novel by the same title, Motherless Brooklyn, by Jonathan Lethem. And this is a really great movie. This is a great movie, great story for several reasons. One, Edward Norton. I've been a big fan of Edward Norton for years.
2, Edward Norton. 3, Edward Norton.
Yeah, so number 4, the reason why this is a great movie is what he does. Again, he directed this film, wrote it also, so he's very invested, has a strong passion for this film. What he does is he combines the fictional novel with real life events, real life corruption, real life scandal, cover up, murder. Maybe not murder, but for sure. But that real life events, he's able to mix these fictional characters who are very colorful, who are very unique, and use them to tell this real life story. And it's great. So the plot.
Yeah, what's it about?
In the 1950s, I just wanted to preface that really quick. But in the 1950s, New York, Motherless Brooklyn follows Lionel Esrig. He's played by Edward Norton. He's a loner afflicted with Tourette's syndrome. And at this time, they haven't actually discovered or come out with the term Tourette's syndrome.
Yeah, so he's diagnosed it. Yeah,
exactly. So he's a character. He's kind of like, I got noodles in my brain. He can't really describe what's wrong with his brain. But he's this private eye. He gets thrown into a world of scandal and corruption after his mentor and only friend, played by Bruce Willis, the character's Frank Minna. Bruce Willis is murdered. Because he's a private eye. I mean, it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
But it's right in the beginning. It's not a spoiler. And so he's investigating this thing, and he discovers, Bruce Willis's character finds out there's a lot more to what he was initially looking into. And because he found out too much, he got taken care of. And so now it's up to Edward Norton's character to not only figure out who murdered his friend, but as he goes down this journey of trying to find his friend's killer and why they did it, he starts unraveling the truth and more conspiracy and scandal and corruption, and that puts his own life in danger and puts the lives of other people in danger too. So this movie that's the basic like a film noir premise of this film.
Yeah.
Grade A cast. You have, again, Edward Norton, Alec Baldwin, Willem Dafoe, Bruce Willis.
And they just got everybody
Sherry
together.
Jones. Yeah, it has everybody. And the one great thing about this film also, again, this is a passion project of Edward Norton. He didn't have a lot of money to work with to produce this film because, again, it's not one of those big blockbuster Avenger kind of films. And so to make this film, he needed the help of Bruce Willis, of Willem Dafoe, and Alec Baldwin to pretty much work pro bono. And they did, because they also like the story. I've heard them talk during interviews.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a great movie. Edward Norton, he was inspired to make this movie, this kind of film noir, based off, other films in the past, including Chinatown, which stars Jack Nicholson. And in that film, it's the same thing, where this private eye, he's investigating this seemingly simple case. But then as you dig deeper, he catches on and learns more about this world of corruption. And it's the same thing. And there's there are many strengths to this movie. I recommend it. The directing is great. The cinematography is fantastic. Beautiful shots. Most of this film was filmed in New York and actually at some of the actual locations of these real life events.
Oh, wow.
And so it looks beautiful. The editing is one thing that caught my eye was the editing and the pacing. At 2 hours and 25 minutes, it could seem to some people as a slow-paced movie. It definitely does take its time to let the characters, flesh out their attributes. But it's a movie that I think pays off with the time you invest in it. And so I really recommend it. I'm not sure if it's not doing that great in the box office right now. Like it opened on November 1st and it only made, I think on the opening weekend, $3 million. And up to date, it's only made about $8.3 million. So more people, I recommend it. Go out, watch this film. It's not a blockbuster, one of these big multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar generating films, but it's a great film with a very great story that Edward Norton, again, was able to mix this fictional novel into real-life events to tell a real-life story of corruption. And it's a story that many people, I'm sure, in New York themselves probably don't know the history of how, these large skyscrapers developed or how these bridges came to be and how the public transportation industry was hindered for the growth of individual cars, the auto industry. And so, man,
you're getting me excited.
Yeah. So, this is one of those films that, again, 2 hours, 25 minutes. Some people may find that slow, but if you invest the time in watching this film, I do think you will be rewarded at the very end.
Film noir is one of those genres that I really wanted to get more into, especially the classic films and things like that. I wanted to try to set aside time for myself to watch this, to watch those because it's poignant, it's dark, it's brooding. It's
also fun too.
Realistic, right? But
it's fun because imagine like the cliche noir movie where the detective goes to a smoky bar, talks to the bartender, shows him a photo, says, "Hey, see, have you seen this photo? See, not that bad, but
good job,
but and then the dame comes in, asks for a light of her cigarette, and then so." Edward Norton with this fictional character of Lionel Estrog. Each character is unique and colorful. So if you're not entranced by the story, it looks beautiful. These were filmed on scene, on location. The acting, the cast is fantastic. I can't speak enough of this movie. Okay. I wasn't expecting to like it so much, but I did.
Well, one of the great things about Edward Norton, I mean, besides everything, is his films are they take their time. Yeah. They take their time. They're great explorations of humanity and character building. One of my favorites from a while back, Keeping the Faith, that he made alongside Ben Stiller. And that was a sweet, great little movie that I will watch beginning to end anytime it ever comes up, because it's just great storytelling. It's great human telling. So I suspect that's probably what's happening here, too. I really like his style.
I like it when again, I don't think Edward Norton had the biggest budget to work on this film, but I love it when actors, when they find their own passion project, they find their own thing that their own story they want to tell,
and it shines through,
and they're able to do that. And again, kudos to Bruce Willis, kudos to Willem Dafoe and Alec Baldwin.
They've got enough money.
and they saw this, saw the story, they read the script, and they're all on point. Nobody's phoning it in. And I've said I may have brought up Bruce Willis in the past, whatever, but like sometimes I feel like he's kind of phoning it in. This one, he is fantastic.
Maybe they shouldn't pay him anymore.
maybe that's the key. Or maybe they should offer him good scripts that are backed by the studio.
Yes.
Who would have thunk it? But Motherless Brooklyn, again, it's not doing that great in the box office, so I'm not sure if it has legs. But if you can check it out.
Solid film.
Solid film.
Anything else out there you want to see?
I saw Dr. Sleep last week. I'm actually going to be seeing it again this weekend. On our last episode, we reviewed Terminator Dark Fate, and how, if you are a fan of T1 and T2 and love those stories, I don't recommend watching Dark Fate, because that movie pretty much kind of takes a dump on the previous two.
Yeah.
And it changes the story.
Yeah.
Dr. Sleep is I want to say perfect, but a great sequel to a movie that honors The Shining, that references The Shining, but it grows. It's able to expand the theme and the universe of what The Shining and what Stanley Kubrick set up. And it's also Dr. Sleep is also more faithful to the actual literature. So Stephen King, a Maine native, he's come out and said that he's a fan of this one. Yeah. Famously, he said that he's not a fan of The Shining because of how many liberties were taken with that script in the film. With Dr. Sleep, he likes it. It's getting great reviews. Again, I'm not sure how well it's doing in the box office, but that's another film that you really should check out if you love The Shining. It sticks true to what it is.
With the holidays around the corner, Knives Out is coming out. I highly recommend everybody goes and watches that one also.
For your feet and your hands.
And looking for my hands and feet. Well, thank you for being with us on the Hub on Hollywood.
Thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe us on YouTube, follow us on our Twitter, Hub on Hollywood, same as Instagram. Give us some love. What movies have you seen? Motherless Brooklyn. Have you seen Dr. Sleep? Let us know. Shoot us a message. We'll try to respond. Yeah. What are you excited to see that's coming up? Because there's a lot coming down the pike now. A lot. As we reach the end of the year, the holidays are coming. The big blockbusters that round out, the money for the year. Star Wars is coming. Yes, all of it. So very exciting. Perfect. Exciting. Well, good stuff, James. Thank you for tuning in this week. Catch us next week for another Hub on Hollywood episode. In the meantime, have fun. Bye. Bye. Bye.